Welcome back to the Extra Medium channel. In this episode, I've got a new surprise. It's a surprise for me, something I've wanted for nearly 25 years. It is a Ducati Superbike. Now, I've wanted one of these for a long time, as I said, and I'm so stoked to have finally found one. This is a 748S. So here are the things I notice immediately, obviously. Controls are off of the grip. This clip-on is not straight. But it's not necessarily, looks like maybe it's, there's a little motion there. So it's probably been down. Carbon fiber tank. Looks like aftermarket, maybe plastic rear end. So carbon guard, stock exhaust. This is a model with the magnesium wheels. So this is the 748S. Has a gray frame and wheels. So in 2000, this is what it was. Leave that. Yeah, definitely not stock bodywork anywhere. But it has the Showa suspension. I've got a whole bunch of craziness going on down here with the wiring. I think a lot of it had to do with trying to wire in the taillights, which are LED, which obviously is confusing for a lot of people in life. So I'll be pulling all that off, trying to get all these in order and identified. The relays are just hanging. Maybe I'll just set up the camera and start tearing it down and see what I can find. Okay, so I've taken off the pipes, the front fairings, and gotten some of this wiring cleaned out. There were some turn signals that were wired into on the gauges. The dude I bought it from was super cool. He's had it for a while, but didn't have time to mess with it. So it's just been sitting in his garage, just waiting for me to come pick up. See what kind of stuff I can pull off of there and clean it up. I'm gonna get this tank off up here. I don't know which to do first, so. In lieu of someone holding it, I parked it really closely to the wall here. This makes it easier. There we go. Vent line, then these. And your tank comes off. So for this hole, I'm going to patch it just with some carbon, but when you're doing something like this on a high temperature application, I use this high temperature epoxy. This is a Max HTE. It'll withstand the temperatures that an exhaust can like this will see. The only difference between this and normal epoxy that I use is this needs to cure at a higher temperature. Now you may be asking yourself, where did this exhaust come from? I thought it had a stock exhaust on it when you got the bike. Yeah, it did. And I found this set on eBay for a steal because of this hole in the bottom of the can. But that's not a big deal if you know what you're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, keep watching this video and I'll show you. It's pretty easy to patch this kind of stuff. You just have to use the right materials. So this high temperature epoxy is going to be exactly what we need to make sure that this sits and doesn't melt in the future. Now here I'm just using some packing tape and I'm putting some PVA on the smooth side, not the sticky side. I have it put on the cloth so that it takes off some of the stickiness. I'm going to put this upside down so that the PVA is in contact with the patch that I just put on. I'm going to wrap it tightly so it's kind of like a vacuum bag. It applies pressure and makes sure that that there are no pockets of air or pockets of epoxy. After that, put it against the heater and let it cure. Unwrapping was a little bit difficult, but I got it all the way unwrapped. All patched. Now this will use the stock headers, so I'm just going to clean them up and kind of make them look nice. So after a round with this is pretty worn out. But here's the thing that you can do. Take the toe of a sock, cut it off, stick it around one of these, and now you have a polishing pad. That's what I'm going to do. Now, I haven't been able to make everything for this bike out of carbon fiber yet, but I do have the tank, which came with the bike, and I already had this carbon tail section. So I'm going to use those and clear coat them with a 2K clear coat. Now on the side panels, I'm just going to make them black. So I sprayed on a little bit of adhesion promoter and then just some black. Now I'll go over this with the 2K clear coat as well. Now for the nose piece, I have this one that came with the bike, but it's broken. So I'm going to do a little trick and use some stainless steel wire and kind of make some stitches here. I'll heat it up and then melt it right into the plastic. After that, I'll be using some carbon fiber and the headlights as a mold, as a positive mold I guess, and just making the entire front a track fairing. So no more headlights. Yay, more carbon fiber. Well, that's interesting. What? The headlights came out. Oh, they're not. The headlights came out with it. They stuck on the back. They weren't. So they weren't secured in. I guess they have a bolt that goes down through there. And I thought that what they were in, but apparently they weren't. So they came out with it. So I'm gonna have to take this all off, and I'll take all of it off, unhook those wires, and then I'll just peel the headlights out. It's got PVA on there, so it should release. That's hilarious. Rub free pretty easily. A no headlight hole track fairing. Excellent. So if everybody wants to buy these, let me know. Maybe I'll keep them, but make me an offer. Who knows? Now it's time to trim up these edges. Now after I get the edges cleaned up, all I'm going to do is add some additional layers inside and a layer of epoxy outside to make sure that it's smooth and strong. Then finally, a couple coats of 2K clear, and it's good to go. New fasteners. And why own a Ducati if you don't have the clankety clank clutch? So here's an open clutch cover that I love installing. Other than that, it's time to put the bike back together. Everything's pretty much done, painted, freshened up, ready to go back on. Now, trying to think forward into the future, I did attempt to make sure that I used brand new stainless steel hardware with all the same Allen heads, just so it's easier to take apart next time or fix something if I need to. Really, I only need this one Allen for most of the bolts that I put on there. I think that's always a good idea, no matter what kind of bike you're building. It just makes things simpler. I didn't notice it at first, but this bike had Healy bars on it, so I had some bar risers. They're actually pretty good clip-ons, good quality. I did end up putting some Vortex flat bars on, well, the 7-degree slant ones, because it more closely matches the OEM style. After that, here we go. Just getting the body work on. Look at all this carbon. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. You have no idea. Something as simple as making sure that you have all brand new Zeus fasteners for these quick disconnects, it just makes life a lot simpler. Everything is uniform. On these older bikes, you may be missing one or two, and trying to get a factory replacement is kind of difficult. Now, you knew this bike had to have more Vortex on it, so front and rear sprockets. This is always just a good upgrade for any bike that you buy. New chain wheels, can't go wrong. Now, these are some carbon heel guards that I made. Just super simple. Just flatten the carbon like 6-7 layers, and then just put it on where the heel guards usually go. Finished product. Tell me it's not beautiful. Go ahead and try. Anyway, thanks for watching Extra Medium. I'll see you next time when we get to work on the Aprilia again.